Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Zoe and this is my YouTube channel. I wanted to do a summery soft glam but with a bold lip as well to make it nice and bright, so I'll leave as usual down here what it's going to look like. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you do down in the comments. Please give it a big thumbs up as well if you do, and don't forget to subscribe, and we will just get straight into it. So I'm starting with eyes first today. I'm just using a bit of concealer as my primer. I've done my eyebrows already, I've done my soap brows, so I'll leave the link to that video in the description because I always get asked about my eyebrows when I've done soap brows. For my contour, I'm going to use this Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, which is a cream bronzer. I'm just going to use a little eyeshadow brush, give it a little swirl in there, and this I am going to apply as if it was my transition shade. So I'm going to come into this inner corner through my crease, and then I'm just going to blend it back past my brow a little bit just to give it a bit of definition. And I am also going to apply some eyeshadow as well just to set this in place. Going right into that socket there and then out in this outer corner. But I do really like the effect it gives doing your contour like through your crease as well, not just eyeshadow. I feel like it adds to the effect if you use a cream underneath. And then for actual eyeshadows, I'm going to use this palette from NYX, which is the Warm Rust. I'm only going to use a couple, and I can open it, a couple of eyeshadows, just because I want the eyeshadow to be quite soft, but the winged eyeliner to be main focus. So I'm going to use this one right here, just to go over where I've applied that cream bronzer, and then I'm going to use this at the bottom, which is just a sheer, it's sheer but it's sparkly at the same time. So I'm going to use that on my lid. So I'm first taking that one right there, and you could just use your bronzer or something if you wanted to. Instead of using an actual eyeshadow for this, you could use your bronzer and then your highlighter after. It would just give the exact same effect. I feel like doing looks like this, you don't have to be that neat, which is what I like. When you're doing winged eyeliner, you need to be neat, but when you're doing something like this, I'm never that neat really. Okay, then I'm just going to take that one in the bottom corner and I'm going to pop this all over my lid, and I am going to bring it up just through this inner crease as well, just to highlight this inner corner. I really like these because they're sheer but they are very sparkly. I always feel like gold tones go really nice with red as well. So now I'm going to do my winged eyeliner. I'm going to use the Maybelline Eye Studio Black Gel Liner, which is my absolute favourite. And I'm going to scoop a little bit out and pop it on the back of my hand because I find that it helps like warm the product up and it's easier to use. I'm just going to, with my brush, just work it on the back of my hand first. And I always find it easier to do my wing first. I think that just gets it out of the way and then you can move on to the rest. So I always do my wing first before I do anything else. And then for the inner corner, I try to stay like really thin. I might even do a pointed inner corner as well, but I've not decided yet. If I do that, I'll do it with eyeshadow later on. Okay guys, what do you think? Oh, it's symmetrical? That will definitely do it for now. And then I'm just going to quickly wipe off that liner because I'm wearing a white top and I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. So let's get that wiped off. What are we going to do next? So I'm just taking a flat, what would you call this, a definer brush. It's a Morphe G28. I've just got a bit of concealer on the end. I'm going to use this to just sharpen up my wing. I don't think I did too bad with the wings today because I haven't done one, especially with a gel liner, for ages. I don't think we did too bad. So the next thing that I'm going to do is apply some liner just to my top waterline, and this feels like the strangest thing ever. It took me ages to learn how to do this on myself. So for lashes, I'm only going to be applying little corner ones again today. So I'm going to give my lashes a good brush through, just so I can build up the ones in this inner corner. I find doing this really helps like stop your lashes clumping together when you apply quite a lot of mascara. I'm also going to give them a nice curl as well. Okay, let's do mascara. I'm going to use Lash Paradise from L'Oreal, which this is nearly run out now, so I do need a new one. And I'm going to really build this up, especially on my roots, because I can already see like my ginger roots showing through. So I've just popped some glue on my lashes while that's just drying it off. I'm just going to use a little bit of black shadow from this palette, and I'm just going to press it over this winged eyeliner just to make it a little bit darker and to make sure it is set in place. I'm just going to pick up a little bit and literally just stamp it on. So these are just little corner lashes. They were a full lash, but I've literally just cut them in half, and I'm just using like the inner section for the outer section, if you get me. You can get corner lashes, but I usually just make my own. So I'm just gonna pop this on. Okay, so I'm angling the outer corner up from my lash line just so it creates more of a winged out effect. And the reason that I use the inner corner for the outer corner is because you've got the really small lash on this very end section, and it blends in with your lashes a lot better, I think anyway. And then I like to just push them up as they're drying so they stay like nice and perked up. So let's move on to skin. I'm thinking quite natural, quite glowy and bronzy. So I'm going to use first the MAC Strobe Cream. I use the shade Gold Light. And this I'm going to just place really on the high points of my face, mainly on my cheeks. And then I'll go a little bit over my forehead and my nose. I have got a little bit of a natural tan going on, so I'm thinking like quite sheer on the skin and quite bronzy. And next I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer on my under eyes. So this is C5 from Makeup Revolution, and I find this one really good for sort of colour correcting my under eye because I'm just so dark underneath my eyes at the moment. I don't know what's going on. And I'm just going to take a little buffer brush and just buff that in. Next I'm going to use a tinted moisturizer. So this is from Avon. It's just like an everyday tinted moisturizer. So I'm just going to press it all over first. And then I'm just going to use that same brush. I think this is the buffing brush from Real Techniques. I'm just going to buff this all over. I absolutely love this for like every day. I was using my Pro Glow foundation for every day, but now I just use this because I don't go anywhere because we are in lockdown, so minimal makeup at the moment unless I'm doing a tutorial. And you can see it just really brightens the skin. It's like barely any coverage, but it just adds like a sheer wash or something. I can't explain it, I just really like it because I do have like a really uneven skin tone because I have so many freckles and everything. But I feel like this just makes my skin look really fresh. I absolutely love it. It's called the Nutra Effects. It smells amazing as well, and it's got an SPF of 20. So next I'm just going to conceal in like extra places. So I'm going to use the C6 concealer now from Makeup Revolution still. I'm going to go under my eyes just a little bit more to brighten them up a little bit because they're pretty dark under there at the minute. And I'll just do a little bit, tiny bit around my nose, tiny bit on my chin, and I think that's going to do really. Maybe a little bit on the centre of my forehead just to brighten a little bit. And I'm just going to take that brush again, just buff that in. Okay, now for cream bronzer and contour, I'm going to use that same cream bronzer. I'm just going to use the Real Techniques contour brush this time. just like in my usual places, and I am going to blend this on to my cheeks again today, just to warm everywhere up a little bit, and then around my forehead. And then I'm not going to put any on my nose because my nose is already a little bit sunburned, and you can tell a little bit more because I haven't got foundation on, so I think I'll leave the nose. And I'm just using that same brush that we did the Tinted Moisturizer with. I'm just going to pat this in just so it doesn't look too harsh. Okay, and then for powder, I'm only going to set my under eyes and a little bit around my chin and nose. So I'm going to use the Cameo powder from Ben Nye, and I'm only using the smallest amount just underneath my eye, and then sort of where I would get like more oily throughout the day. Okay, and then for bronzer, I'm going to use my Milani bronzer, which is Broke. This one is in the shade 5. And I'm just going to start pressing this everywhere that I did that cream like contour slash bronzer. I really like these because they do have like a glow to them as well, so they're not sort of too harsh. You can just build them up as you go. They look absolutely amazing on the skin. And then for blush, I'm going to use a little bit of this one from Illamasqua, which is in the shade Lover. Just looks like that. And I'm going to pop this on the apples of my cheeks and blend it back. And then for my highlight, I'm going to use Becca's Opal, which is completely smashed and I still haven't mended it yet. Looks like that, but I am going to mend it. I just really like to use it still though. So I'm just going to apply this onto the high points, and then I am going to pop a little bit onto my cheeks as well. I might just pop a little bit of this just in this inner corner. And then I'm going to do my lip before I do my under eyes because I've not decided what I'm doing with them yet, and I feel like I can make my mind up once I've put my lip on. So for my lip liner, I'm going to use, is this Ruby Woo from MAC. I don't have many like bright colours. I think I only have like this as my red lip liner. Okay, then over the top, I'm going to use this liquid lipstick from Beauty Boulevard, and it's in the shade Damn Fine. So for my lower waterline, I'm going to use a nude pencil. This is one from Rimmel. And I'm just going to align my waterline. And then along my lash line, I'm just going to mix those two together, but mainly this lighter one that we used earlier, just along my lash line, but only on the outer corner. And then I think I am going to do my inner corner, which I love doing at the minute. So I'm just using a bit of that black shadow on that same angled brush, and I'm just going to extend this inner corner. Okay guys, so that is it. That completes today's soft glam with a red lip. I absolutely love it. Let me know whether you guys like it as well. Please give it a big thumbs up as well if you did like it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye!